Hello, welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at unit conversion. So what we have is a situation whereby you are about to convert the units of a particular quantity to another unit, right? Probably it might be SI units. So let's take a look at one of the parameters that is very, very important in conversion of units, and that is called the conversion factor. Now, this conversion factor helps us to convert the unit of a quantity to another unit. Once we know the conversion factor, then we'll be able to convert any unit from one unit to another. So let's take a typical example. This is a typical example of a conversion factor, and we have it as 1 mile is equal to 1,609 meters. We also have 1 feet is equal to 0.3048 meters. We also have 1 inches converted to meters. We have 1 revolution is converted to 2 pi rad. We also have 1 hour is equal to 3,600 seconds, and so on and so forth. So let's take a look at a typical problem. First one is convert 55 miles to kilometer. So to solve this particular problem, we must know how to convert from this mile to kilometer, and we must know the conversion factor, right? So we have our 55 miles, right, to convert to kilometer. What we need is a conversion factor. So this is a conversion factor. 1 mile gives 1,609 meters, or 1 mile is 1.609 kilometer. So now that we have this conversion factor, we notice that the unit that I want to convert is just 1. So we first of all provide this expression, 55 miles times just 1 dash, because it is 1 unit, 1 dash. So what we have put here, right, is dependent on what we have here. So now that we have miles, I want to convert it. So we'll put 1 miles down, or a mile down, and that will give us 1 mile, and that will give us, you multiply by the conversion factor that you want to change to. So 1 mile is equal to 1 kilometer. So if you notice, this divided by this will give you 1. So 1 times everything will still give us this expression, right? So at this point, we can now cancel these miles and cancel this one, and that will give us 55 times 1.609 kilometer, which is same thing as 88.495 kilometers. And that's it. Or another way you can solve this problem, peradventure you don't know this conversion from 1 mile to kilometer. We only know 1 mile to meters. So what we'll do is to convert this mile to meters, then from meters to kilometer. So in doing so, because we have 2 steps, 2 stages, we have to provide this expression, 55 miles times 2 dashes, right? Dash 1, dash 2, because we want to follow 2 steps. First of all, to convert from mile to meter, from meter to kilometer, right? So what we now have is miles here. We'll put 1 mile down, then the meters, 1,609 meters up here. Then from that meters up here, we'll now put 1,000 meters and put 1 kilometer here. So that's why we have 55 miles times 1 mile that will cancel this mile, and we are left with meters. Then these meters, right, this meter, we'll need to cancel it down by saying what is the conversion factor in kilometer. So 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So this one will cancel this mile will cancel this, and we are left with kilometer, and that gives us 55 times 1,609 divided by 1,000 times 1 kilometer, which is equal to 84. So it's the same thing. So if this one is not known, you can first of all convert to this, then also to this. So when you are going to pass through 2 steps, you have to use the first dash times the first dash times the second dash. I hope that's okay. So let's look at the second problem. So we have this problem. On your way to a particular town, you are traveling at a speed of 95 miles per hour. Is your car exceeding the speed limit of 45 meters per second? So now you are traveling along a particular highway, and the maximum speed limit is 45 meters per second. But you know your car is reading 95 miles per hour. So how do you know whether you have exceeded the limit or you are below the limit? Right. So what we need to do is to convert this one to meter per second, and that's it. Once we convert to meter per second and the value is greater than this, that means we have exceeded the limit. But if it is lower, that means we have not exceeded the limit. So we start by providing 95 miles per hour because there are 2 units. So we have dash times dash. You get it now. So at this point, so this first dash, we'll put miles at the bottom and put meter at the top. For this second dash, we'll put this hour at the bottom here. So 1 hour will be at the top, an hour will be at the top, then seconds will be at the bottom. So and that gives us 95 miles per hour times, this is the conversion factor. 1 mile is equal to 1609 meters. Then this is the conversion factor for time, which is 1 hour equal to 3600 seconds. So with this, 1 hour will cancel this 1 hour. 1 mile will cancel this mile. So we are left with meter and seconds. And that gives us 95 times this value, meters, then divided by everything, which is this seconds. And that gives us 42.46 meter per second. And from this value, if you compare with this, it means that we have not exceeded the limits, which means we are safe. I hope that's okay. So let's look at another problem. So let's take a look at this problem. Convert 50 revolution per minute to rad per seconds. So for this particular problem, we must know the conversion factor from revolution to rad and minutes to seconds, right? So we start with this, and because we have 2 units, so we have 1 and 2. So at this point, I have my revolution here, so I must put my revolution down to cancel this one, then put my rad up. Because I have minutes here, I must put my minutes at the top and put seconds at the bottom. So now that I have this, 50 revolution per minute times 2 pi rad is equal to 1 revolution, then 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So when you do your cancellation, minutes cancels this, revolution cancels this, so you are left with 50 times 2 pi all over 60 minutes per rad per seconds, right? Because this minute will cancel. So we now are left with this expression, which is 5.24 rad per seconds. And that's it. So finally, let's take a look at this problem, which is a little bit tricky. Convert this expression, that's this 64,800 kilometer per hour squared, which is acceleration, the unit of acceleration, to meter per second squared. Now, for us to convert this, we must know the conversion factor for kilometer to meter from hour to seconds. Now, because we have 3 units, 2 units, but in the form of, we can split it into 3. So 1 kilometer, then 2 hours. So we now have this 1, 2, 3. So that your hours here will be here and here, while your kilometer will be here. They will now convert to the meter. And that gives us this expression times, this is conversion factor. Remember, everything here will be 1, everything here will be 1, everything here will be 1, because this is exactly equal to this. So it will not change this one. So at this point, we can do our cancellation. Hour squared will cancel this one and this. Kilometer will cancel this. We are left with meter second squared. So by the time we multiply this expression times this divided by this, we have this. And that gives us 5 meter per seconds. I hope this helps. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.